welcome all y'all looking at this podcast. Hopefully everyone's tuning in. For all you golfers here in the South Texas area, I have a very special sponsor for this episode, number 39, with Kerry, Niester from the Golf Fellowship. I have Veronica, Ronni, Guevara. She is a realtor here in San Antonio. She's a really good person, really good girl. You can hit her up at 210-955-5395. For all your real estate needs, please call Ronni. She'll take real good care of you. She's really good on detail, and she wants to make the home of your dreams a reality. All right, so thank you. Make sure you hit up Ronni. Now for our podcast with Kerry. All right, Kerry, how you doing tonight, buddy?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Oh, man, I'm super psyched to have you just because it's been since March 2018 since I had you on the podcast. You are episode number 12.
Yeah, we have history.
Hey, just a little good history. It's good history.
Yeah. That was the beginning.
That was the beginning. And I'm going to tell you, Kerry, joining your league, joining the Golf Fellowship, Kerry's the co-founder of the Golf Fellowship. It used to be only just here in San Antonio, and now he's ventured out, and we'll get to those cities that the Golf Fellowship is now into. But Kerry, I wanted to thank you because you actually helped start my golf journey and venturing out and playing outside of my little bubble. And you introduced me to a good amount of guys in the league, and you really kind of got me out of my shell. You really did. And you do not understand what you did for me and what you do for a lot of the guys in the league. Because I know if it just happened to me and being in the league for 3 years, I can only imagine what it did for them and being in as long as you've ran the league.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that kind comment because that's exactly why I do this. I grew up playing golf, obviously, and played in college, but I grew up going to my dad's course where he was a head pro at a 9-hole country club in Iowa. And so I played with all types, and I played 9-hole leagues all the time. And so I got to know lots of different guys. Of course, with golf, there's every different personality in the book, right? And really, that's what the Golf Fellowship is about. I think it's just this great equalizer for us all as society to be able to get out and really enjoy ourselves. And for guys like yourself to get out, during the week, break up that week a little bit, blow off some stress after Monday and Tuesday at work, and yet preserve your weekends, for your family for the most part.
Well, I think that's what you do for us, because what Kerry does is Kerry runs an awesome nine-hole league for the most part. The good majority of the time, it's every Tuesday nights in the evenings here in San Antonio. Now, since we talked, I think we were going into your 13th year, 12th or 13th year, and now what year are we on to right now?
Number 15.
Number 15. And now tell everybody, you're not just in San Antonio anymore. So the league has grown leaps and bounds. And I heard from a little birdie last year, one of our good friends, that I think venturing out to some of these leagues kind of took its little toll on you as well.
Well, yeah. And of course, I'm a glutton for punishment when it comes to that. I'm just OCD enough to continue this thing and, always be ambitious to, follow people's desires and interest in this. And 2 years ago, actually, 2019, I guess it was a year after you started, I got a call from a guy in Austin, John Van Oler, and he said, "Hey, can we get your group up here?" My brother lives in Austin, and we had tried it, a little bit way back in 2011. It just wasn't good timing, and but we decided in 2019 to go there. That worked out well, so we're heading into our third year in Austin this year, and then last year we went to Dallas, because we had a member from Austin move to Dallas, and he asked if we could take it there. Of course, you know what happened then over the winter this year. One of the Dallas members moved to Houston. So here we come, Houston.
Oh, wow. Okay. So not only San Antonio to start off with, now then you're in Austin, and then Dallas, and now Houston. All right, so tell me, is there any more room for expansion?
Might want to ask my wife that.
Well, hey, you have, what is it? What do you refer her, or what do people refer her as? Miss Commish, or
Commish? Yeah.
There you go, Miss Commish.
Yeah.
Now I'm sure she's the one in charge, right? She's the one that allows you to do all this stuff.
She is. It's got to take place outside of my responsibilities and stuff like that. I don't always obey that.
Oh, yes. That's what I want to hear. A bad boy. That's what I want to hear.
I am a bad boy Commish. I have to do this. I have to make it happen, and there you go.
Well, I have a good comment right here. Kerry, you're such an awesome guy. Much respect for you and the Golf Fellowship. Because of your group, I met Andy and became best friends. Oh, I don't even know this guy. So that's, I'm just playing. He's one of my good buddies. And yes, we met in the handicapper, the handicap that you have every year at BRAC. We met, I think it was in 2000, last March, if I'm not mistaken. And we were just randomly paired together. And man, me and this guy, we just hit it off. His name's Arnold. And he said when we first met, his name's Alfredo, but he likes people to call him Arnold because he doesn't like to be called Freddie. And so I said, oh, okay, I'm going to call you Freddie.
But you've called him all of those things just now. So.
That's true. It's just like me. I just want to be called. I just want to be called.
Hey, Arnold, I really appreciate you sharing that. I'd like to see you out full time with us. But that's awesome. Those are other stories I love hearing. I didn't realize that you two had met that way, but I know a lot of people have become good friends. They've gone on big trips, and it started in the Golf Fellowship. So that's the coolest thing to me.
It is. And, doing a little bit of research, and I know you, and I know the type of person and the type of man you are. Just reading a little bit, try to do a little bit of research and my homework, brushing up on some of the history and some of the things about the Golf Fellowship. I read something that you stated that I don't know if it was on Facebook or the website, thegolffellowship.com, that you like to host or put on events just as much as you like to golf.
Yeah, I still do.
That's good. After being in 4 cities now, you still do.
Yeah, I wrote that a couple of years ago, but I really do. And that shifted from when I started doing this back in 2007. It was just about getting back to the game and playing, as maybe once a month even. That was pie in the sky for me at that time. But in a couple of months, I had 150 guys on an email list, and really interested in this, and I realized I had to get serious about it. And again, my OCD kicked in, and but I really do. I saw my dad growing up. He put on great events. He was an artist. He used his calligraphy skills, and other things to really personalize all the scorecards, the leaderboards, and really made events great and personable for people, and that's what I'm looking for.
I totally feel that that's what you do, because I think you have a lot of members in the league at all these events, and you try your best. And I know it's hard. You try your best to make sure you say hi to everybody. Hey, Andy, or you go up there and, especially a new member, you really try to reach out.
Yeah.
And I do feel that you try to welcome everybody as much as you can. I know you're not going to be able to please everybody, and not everyone's going to be able to feel like, oh, hey, Kerry said hi to me, or Kerry gave me some of his time. But because I do understand, you're trying to do a million things at once. But now I was speaking with somebody the other day, and it was from the 2-man event that you had at the Canyons. And I do have a video of that. And I'm going to quote him. He said, Kerry has such a cool vibe surrounding him, because we were playing in the Canyons course. We were playing in some extra holes against Sarah White and Robert Powell. And I hit this amazing shot. His name is Odie. He's a big burly dude with a big beard.
Oh, yeah.
He said I hit this amazing shot. And Kerry said, wow, I wouldn't believe you hit that shot if I wasn't here to see it myself?
Oh yeah, it was amazing. I remember it like it was yesterday. He was on the edge of two, not in a pretty shot, not in a pretty shape, and his partner was basically out of the hole. It was just up to him. And I mean, there was a stump there. There was, I mean, it was nuts. And he pulls this thing out, a wood, I'm pretty sure fairway wood out of there. And
He said it was a 5-way. He said it was a 5-wood.
Yeah, there you go. So, I mean, he just rips it out of there. It was, and it kept him in the hole. You know, they almost pulled it off. But
okay, don't get there yet. Don't get there yet.
Okay.
Well, my buddy Odie, and I think that was hole number 2, right, at Canyons, because I think you played number 1. And how many people were tied? I think he said there was like 5. Was it true? Like 3 or 5 people, 5 groups were tied, or
5 teams. Of course, it's 2-man, so there was 10 people were out there on the first hole. You know, and it narrowed down to 2 groups after the first hole. But
yeah, because they both birdied. They both birdied the hole. My buddy Jeremy and my buddy Odie against Sarah and Robert. And yeah, I know Robert pretty well, and Sarah, I've taken some of the classes at Mike's place at the Mach 3, and Sarah's been my instructor. And so when Robert told me that was his partner, I said, that's not even funny. That's not even funny, Robert. Come on, man. You know? So when I heard that my buddies were in against them in the last hole or in extra holes, I was like, okay, I don't even know what the hell these guys were doing there, right? Well, my buddy Jeremy, he's really good, and Odie's a solid player as well. Well, it was on number 2. Odie said he was in trouble, and after he hits this amazing shot, and you tell him, you know, hey, great job, you wouldn't believe it, right? Well, they offered you a ride. He said I offered Kerry a ride, and Kerry said, no, I'm okay, I'm good, thanks. And my friend Odie goes, he said there was just such a peace and a joy, a pure joy on Kerry's face as he was watching and walking along with these groups. And I said, and you know what? He told me this, and I was just like, I believe you. I seen that face. I've seen that grin that he makes. One of the grins you're making right now. I've seen like, and I'm glad that somebody that doesn't play within the league, that played at just one of your 2-man events, was able to get just a little bit of those vibes and those feels that you give all of us guys that play in the league.
It's really important to me. You know, I want people to know that they matter. I want people to, first of all, be able to come out and enjoy themselves. You know, they could tank it. You know, we've all had those days, and some of us have those days a lot more times than others. You know, no matter what level we are, we have those days, right? And but hey, we got to be able to come out and realize this isn't our day job. This is fun. And that last year, that of all the 2-man events, that was like the highlight of all of them, having 5 teams going a sudden death playoff, you know, and then going on hole 2, he pulls off that shot. Yeah.
Well, Odie pulls off that shot, okay? And I'm going to play the video of what occurs, because I know, if I'm not mistaken, Odie had hit that 5-wood from out of the woods. He rolls off the stump of a bunker, rolls onto the green, and I think he's putting for par, if I'm not mistaken, or putting for birdie. Does that sound about right? Because I know it's a par 5.
Yeah. I can't remember exactly what the scenario was, but they still in it at that point. So.
Yes, I think he was putting for a par save, and Sarah had a putt for birdie.
To win. Yes.
For birdie to win. All right, and we're gonna pick up right there on green at hole number 2, TPC Canyons. Sarah White going for the putt.
Got it. Good. Woo!
Good bird. No.
Thank you.
Oh.
Great putt, great victory.
And she's a stud. She's an awesome player, a good girl from what I hear and from what she showed me as a coach. And that was my buddy Jeremy and my boy Odie. And they said they had a really good time at that 2-man event. That was one of the first events that they had played in a 2-man format like that. Uh-huh. And for myself and my buddy Jeremiah, we played at the Oaks at that 2-man event. And it's a really good way to get people to come on out and just get a little taste of the league. And, maybe they don't want to take the plunge, but you know what? It gets them, it gets that thought in their mind that said, hey, we enjoyed ourselves this league. You know what? Why couldn't we join and play every other Tuesday as well?
Yeah, a little bit on Sarah. Sarah is basically undefeated in the two-man challenge events that she's participated in. She's been champion 3 times, 3 for 3, I think. There may have been one other time where she didn't win, but she won 2 other times with Jeff Young, from Mach 3 as well. And so, yeah, she's very salty. So, guys, come on out, It's not just a 2-man challenge, but you do have to play like a man, unless you're Sarah White, and then you just play like Sarah White and you kick everybody's butt.
Well, I don't know if her status is going to change because she did win a Symetra Tour event, which is like the minor leagues of the LPGA. So I don't know. Is she out now? Is that what we're saying?
No. Pros can come and play too in the gross competition, and if they want. So would love to have Sarah back and participate in that. But yeah, she's one key there is that she's playing for the men's tees. She's playing all the gross participants, team gross, have to play from where everybody else plays in the gross.
Wow.
So she hits the ball 270, 280, even up to 300. So it's phenomenal. And I guess to your point there about the 2-man challenges, we're ramping up a little bit this year. So it really is an outreach event for us to promote the Golf Fellowship and get more people involved. But we have guys come from all over the state. So this is our schedule that we've got in place this year. I'm super excited about it because we're going to go to Houston. We're going to go up to Austin, the Wolf Dancer. Golf Club of Houston, is where the tournament in Houston, the PGA Tour event, was held for years and years and years. And then the last event, we're going to Cowboys. Of course, those two in between are back at TPC San Antonio. So one of the cool things is that with our points race, you could actually post all your necessary points from those 5 events if you wanted to travel with us. So you don't even have to participate in the 9-hole or even the other 18-hole events that we have in the different cities. You could still get your points and be able to go and qualify for, up at Horseshoe Bay this August.
Oh, yeah. And it's awesome because one of my good buddies, Zach Cruz, and we played at the Wolf Dancer one. I wasn't able due to COVID, and that's one of the things that I have probably a real bitter taste. I mean, COVID has really made us change the way we live and done the way we do a lot of things, and it sucks. It really does. And I wasn't able to play as much as I wanted to because the league is really, like I stated earlier, has done a lot for me. But I was able to get out and go to Bastrop to play at the Wolf Dancer and meet up with one of my buddies from Austin to go play in that 2-man. And man, that course tore me up. I mean, it did. It was a tough track, but I had a blast. I did have a blast, but that course tore me up. But I'm going back for vengeance this year. I'm going to tell you that much. I'm going back for vengeance.
Good deal.
Now, as putting on these 2-man events and being in 4 different cities, why was it so important for you to venture out to these other cities and do some of these other bigger events outside of just the every other Tuesday within the league?
The more we can do stuff outside of the city, the more fun it gets at the end of the year. One of the things you were asking kind of about my bandwidth earlier, we are going to activate some league managers this year to run the behind the scenes stuff with Golf Genius and everything. So it's really going to help me. So, there's potential that we could grow in the future, but as long as there's interest, I'd like to grow it because I just get a great camaraderie for myself. For one, I love getting to know these guys from different cities. And I love seeing the competition, and I love, being part of the competition. I like to compete as much as anybody else, but It's just neat to see us cross some of those boundaries that, maybe we aren't normally able to do. So we'll see where it goes.
Now, what are some of the things for people that don't know much about the Golf Fellowship, just like me, like how I was able to find out about you is that I found a golf ball in the woods that said Golf Fellowship. And then I started to see some Facebook and Instagram ads, and I said, hey, I found one of those balls in the woods. That's why I have some golf balls too that I give to a lot of my friends and said, hey, that's got my Nothing is OB logo, and guys, give me some free advertisement. And one of my buddies asked me the other day, I said, hey man, I see you giving away golf balls to everybody else but me. And I said, well, because you're always down the fairway. Yeah, these guys are always to the right and left. That's why I gave them multiples.
Marketing strategy there. You gotta, I tell everybody, make sure, hit them in the woods all you want. So absolutely. I'm glad you found it.
Well, that's why I'm trying to take a page out of your playbook. So what are some of the things that the league does offer in regards to different types of tournaments? I guess what are some of the goals that some people are trying to shoot for at the end of the year or throughout each one of these events?
Right. So we're always making little changes, tweaks. And this year I really got serious about having an advisory board, to really bounce ideas off. And, we're tweaking little things, trying to make it more fair for everybody, more inclusive, so everybody can compete and really shoot for, those year-end things. People want to know that they can go to any individual event and compete. And they also want to be able to be competitive in any year-long competition. So as a member, of course, you can become a base member. You can come as a member. You can come and play at members' rates in all of our events, any event that we play across all the cities, and that's great. And you can compete in event games at those events. But what really gets fun is the points race and the play. And I know that we're heading towards some personal territory for you here, but the points race, is a modified Stableford system based on your net scores that we take throughout the year. And basically this year, it's going to be your best 10 9-hole scores. So even though if you play 18, you get 2 separate scores that work to those 10. And any event across all leagues can be used for that score. Now you're going to be competing against your city for an initial points race, and 2/3 of that pot goes to that city, but then 1/3 of that pot is put aside to go to the TGF Championship at Horseshoe Bay, where we all come together. And the same thing is the case for match play. So there's a great pot for the points race within the leagues, but then there's a bunch of money going to Horseshoe Bay too. Well, once you go there, if you end up finishing in the top 12 this year, start a new event. I don't know if you want me to share this yet, but
yes, share it because I want people to know.
So we're going to have 2 Ryder Cup events at the end of the year. We started. This would be our 3rd year this year to have the Hill Country Cup, which is San Antonio versus Austin. Austin beat us the first year, and we took back the proverbial cup last year. But this year, we're excited because we're going to have 12-man teams from all 4 cities go up to Pine Dunes. And I hear that's a heck of a place to visit and a heck of a track. We're going to be there for 3 days, play 72 holes of golf and compete as 4 separate cities there. So super excited.
I saw that, Kerry. Now, I was really hurt the first year that you did have the Hill Country Cup, because being a football coach, I was not able to make it. And you don't understand, Kerry, like that broke my heart. And then not being able to fully put myself in to be eligible to be for the second group. But it broke my heart because San Antonio lost. That's what broke my heart for the first year. But the second year, hey, there it is. There's a score right there. We took it up. I was proud. I was like, hell yes. I was thankful. And I said, you know what? If I wasn't on the team, then you know what? I said, or if I was on the team, I said, man, we probably would have lost if I was on the damn squad.
Last year was so much fun. I mean, yeah, San Antonio won, but I really the guys who won the respective leagues, Will Peterson from San Antonio and Jason Zepnewski from Austin, they became the captains of those teams, and they just ran with that. And there was such a buzz. We increased the teams from 12 to 20 because there was so much interest and participation level, and it was such a good buzz about it. We went and played, as we did the first year, we played Bandit for our 4-ball event, and then the next day we played Valar Creek.
Two awesome tracks.
Yeah, 2 great tracks. Great for that style of event. We had a great time. So,
and that gives guys like us some things to look forward to. I remember in speaking our first episode, I went back and listened to it, and hearing you say some of the things they said. Well, if you're trying to get rich, the Golf Fellowship is not for you. But if you're trying to put a little skin in the game, and a little side action, then come on out. This is the league for you. And I remember that. And so my first year didn't bet so many people, side action wise, because I didn't really know them. So now I was kind of labeled. I was labeled after or the second year. I started to know people a little bit more. And I said, you know what, I was going to take the plunge because I was scared my first year, because when you look at the league options for your PayPal and what to click on, do you want to get in points race? Do you want to get in match play? I'm just like, I'm going to do the cheapest. I'm going to go the cheapest route my first year. Well, the second year I decided to take the full plunge and just click yes. I'm clicking yes to everything. Do you want more 9 holes? Do you want more of this? Yes, more of everything.
Right.
And one of the things that I really liked was the match play in 2019 match play. You were actually my first. You were part of my first match. You were part of my first match.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
And I at the quarry front 9.
Your business.
I was scared. I was so nervous. I said, you know what? Freaking Kerry put himself up against me, thinking I'm an easy win. And and I remember my buddy Arnold said right here, scared money don't make money. Eddie Torres is the true definition. and we end up tying because it was one of those weird matches that I guess the way you did it is I played somebody else within that match, and then we were also playing as well. It was kind of weird. It was, you understand what I'm saying?
Overlay match, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I end up beating him, and then you and I are tied after the 9 holes, and we have to go to sudden death, and we go back to 1, yeah. And we both. I think you're on for birdie, and I'm right on the fringe. We're both lying too. And I remember I baby up a putt because I'm so scared because it was like a downhill lie, like it was on a sloping. It was sloping down from left to right back towards the water, and you had an uphill putt. You miss your birdie putt. You tap in for par, and I tap in for par as well. And again, being new within I don't know the pops or handicaps. I don't know how everybody kind of evens out. I didn't really know that. And then I remember you just taking off your hat and shaking my hand, and I said, "Well, what happened? You got me on that one." And I'm like this, inside of me, with golf being a game of integrity, I was just like, "Oh, you had the same score." And I said, "Kerry, how does that? You had a pop on me because of the handicap." And I'm like this. Oh, okay.
Yeah. You had the game face coming out that day. Still earlier in your career, but. That was the start. You had to knock off the commish before you can really get on the road to success in the Golf Fellowship, right?
Well, I want everybody to see the really crazy bracket you had for match play that year.
Yeah, so this is the championship bracket, right? It doesn't count the playback bracket down below. So that's
cool. That's right. That's right, because it is double elimination, right?
That's right. That's one of the cool things about this is that we're double elimination. You got beat twice to get knocked out. So, you still have a chance, and those guys can come all the way back to win it. So
that's what I really liked about this bracket is that I think after you made it to if you made it into the quarterfinals, then it became 18 hole matches, which was really cool. After being 9 holes, then you play 18 holes for several rounds. And I had never been in that type of atmosphere. And like I stated to you, this is one of the reasons that kind of got me to venture out into playing with other groups, and you're really playing for other side action, other money, money within other groups.
Match play is a very European thing. That's how they play over there. It's almost always match play. Here, it's a very foreign concept, but it's a totally different mentality, right? It's just hole by hole, and you've seen it on TV, obviously, with the guys over the years in the Ryder Cup. There's some guys that are just made for Ryder Cup, and it's just really fun. And the great thing is that we overlay it with everything else, so you're still getting points, in the points race. You're still competing for all the prizes at an event. You just need to finish out your match, so you wouldn't call your match early, say if you were up 5-4, so lots of fun.
Well, another one of the things you have is that you have the big shebang, which is for the points cup, right? For the Friesenheim, right? Friesenheim Cup.
Close. Friesenheim.
I knew it. I knew I was gonna mess it up. The Friesenheim Cup.
It is the Bruce Friesenheim Fellowship Cup, and Bruce was the father, was the father of Ryan Friesenheim, and Bruce was an early member of our group and a good friend of mine professionally, and unfortunately passed away. But he was a former champion in the Golf Fellowship and really exemplified what I thought the Golf Fellowship was all about. And so I was fortunate enough to be able to talk to him, a couple of nights before he passed, and told him that, hey, we're gonna rename this cup, in your name, and so that's a really special thing to me. We didn't have it in that photo, but his name or his face is, on the front of the cup. And then what was really cool was 2 years ago his son won.
His son did win, and it was awesome. I was part of his group. I was part of that foursome.
Right.
And I think for a guy like me, because I think at the time I was a 13 or something of that nature in my handicap within the league. And it gave me going up against Robert Powell, who was, I believe, a 6. It gave me a chance to compete with somebody. And I think that was one of the things that I thought was such one of the beauties of your league, is that it gave somebody who's maybe not as a strong player, but it still gave me an opportunity to compete with somebody like Robert's caliber. And I think that's what it can do for a good amount of people within the league. Now, I was thankful to be within that group because I saw firsthand I was out of the points race. I had no way of winning, but I got to see Ryan and another gentleman battle it out, and that was freaking awesome because it came down to the 18th hole at was it the resort course or the Palmer course?
Palmer course. The
Palmer course, okay? He had La Cantera, the Palmer course, and I'm going to show that clip right here because Ryan needed to make an 18 putt on 18 to tie for first place, to tie for the championship.
Oh, boom! What a putt!
And I made sure to keep myself in there because I said, that's 2 fist pumps I saw him do that day.
That was not a short putt, and he had to have that. So Ryan was leading basically the whole season, and Jason Ruiz, the guy that he fist bumped there, came back like a wild man over the TGF Championship. I mean, he started out like in 20th place going into the TGF Championship and came all the way back. Ryan had to make that putt to tie Jason on the last hole, and he knocked it down. They became co-champions. So we set that precedent the year before, We had a tie. Actually, realized it was a tie after the event was over, and we already awarded the trophy. But the champion, Jason Markham, realized that there was an error on his card, and so I said, "What do you guys want to do?" And we all took a vote, and we just decided to take a draw, call it a draw, and that was a perfect, that's the epitome of the Golf Fellowship. And so it happened again next year, or the following year, with Ryan and Jason. Now last year we actually changed the point system, so there's decimals now, and that's virtually impossible.
Well, like you stated, I think that's a big staple of what the Golf Fellowship is, and I think what the game of golf really should be is that, calling an error on yourself, or just making sure that you make it right, because at the end of the day, you're the only one that really has to live with that scorecard, or what you wrote down, or what's fact or what's not fact. And I agree. You do have a lot of good people within the group, because it was nice, because I did get together with Ryan and his family to celebrate his victory and to celebrate my monetary victory, because at the end you gave me all this money from from scoring in the Stableford scoring for the championship weekend, and for my match play. And I said, okay, I know exactly what I'm going to do with this clubs. I said, I'm going to take, or with this money, I'm going to know exactly what I'm going to do with this money. I'm going to take this money over to Ben, and I'm going to be like Pretty Woman, like Julia Roberts. I need a dress, or I need clubs. Just give me clubs.
Yeah, that's great.
And Ben fit me, and I spent all that money, and I said, you know what? It all went to a great cause.
I love it. Keep it in the game.
Hey, I sure did, man. So tell me, we have a couple of big things going on, or you have a couple of big things going on this year for some road trips, and especially to start off with a bang here in early March. Why don't you tell everybody about the big road trip that you have planned for the Golf Fellowship?
Yeah, so on March 5th and 6th, Friday, Saturday, we're going to head over for the first time to the Wilderness Golf Club over in Lake Jackson, basically due south of Houston. And it's been rated the number 3 in the nation by Golf Pass this year, and the Players Choice thing, top 50 course in the U.S. So we're super excited about it. You can go down with us. We've got some lodging right there at Staybridge Suites. We worked out a deal with some great room rates. So if you come down and play Friday, stay the night Friday, play Saturday, that's kind of the package. $200 for 36 holes of golf and a night stay. You can also then add on to that if you want. You can do a replay on Saturday afternoon. You can also spend the night Thursday if you want to get there early. Spend the night Saturday night and play Sunday morning again if you want to. So, it can be flexible. And obviously, the more the merrier. So you don't have to be a member. And there's no member versus guest rates in this one. This is just for whoever would like to join us to go down and have some fun. Of course, we'll have a little competition, for those who have official gin handicaps. And, that'll be Friday, Saturday morning. But, yeah, I'm really looking forward to that and kicking off the year right.
Now, right here, I have a little picture of it. It's right here, road trip, the Golf Fellowship, March 5th, 6th. The road trip, the Wilderness, Lake Jackson, Texas. Now, I had on a couple of my buddies because I did play in November. I played in Richmond, I played at Black Hawk, and I played at the Carlton. I played at Carlton Woods, the Nicholas course there, and I had 2 of my buddies on, and they were just talking about all Houston golf, because again, this is a South Texas golf podcast, and that one of my buddies, Eric Otto. That's one of his courses that he recommended for that area. He said, one of the tracks you need to go is the Wilderness. He says that. So when I saw that road trip on there, I said, oh, that's one of the courses my buddy said that is a must play in the Houston area. And so, Kerry, you have some nice freaking tracks, dude. Some nice tracks that you're taking the Golf Fellowship to this year.
Yeah. Doug Barrow down there, general manager at the Wilderness, is taking care of us, and really excited. I haven't played it, but it looks right. We put out a kind of a survey to see where guys wanted to go, and so we had We had Lajitas on there. That's still on the bucket list, by the way.
I'm dying to go there.
That's a commitment for sure. Time, drive, and money wise. And then we had Casati Pines out of Coshada in Louisiana on the list. Ended up that this one and the date combined with the date, it made the most sense. But to your point, course wise, obviously the 2-man challenge schedule can't be beat from a course selection. And then we've got other courses on the list too. We're going to just talk to Palmer Lakeside today up in Austin. We're going to have that on their schedule for a weekend 18, and we're going to have some other courses. We're hoping to play Memorial Park, where the Houston Open has moved to in the last year or so at the end of the season. So, we're doing our best to make sure that we have high value courses. We can't. We love, as much as we love the munis in town. We found kind of a value opportunity in the middle. These courses, public courses, and some private courses. That really appeals to a lot of people. And so that's the other thing too, is that we like to switch it up every single event. So you're going to play lots of different courses and have lots of opportunities.
And I think that's what's awesome about the league is that y'all introduced me to some courses that I might not normally get on. And so I know we played the Quarry, we played Fair Oaks, we play Olympia Hills. We play some really nice tracks. We go out to the Dominion and Silverhorn. And so you get to really see a lot of great golf courses that, again, you might not normally play at. And I know one of the ones that you played last year and the previous years, and I'm hoping that I see it as a tentative on there. It is my home course now. It is the Golf Club of Texas. And so I'm hoping you make that work. I'm hoping you and Bo LeHue make that work out there.
Well, that's funny you say that. And I noticed that you had an interview with Bo the other day. I actually was talking to Shane Pearson, their new general manager out there. Of course, he was a long time at the Republic, and we held tons of events out there over the years, including some charity events. And Shane's always been very accommodating. And we went out there for the first time actually in years, because it's on the fringe. It takes a bit to get to, right? So we went out there last year, and honestly, it was in rough shape. It
was, yeah.
I've always loved the layout at Golf Club of Texas. I think it's a great layout, really a lot of fun. The fairways were, lots of crabgrass or Dallas grass, whatever, growing up there, and then the greens were rock hard. I love the idea of Zoysia tee through greens. There's nothing like Zoysia on the fairways. I wasn't quite so sure about the Zoysia on the greens. Now, I've heard that this year things have changed, and we can be looking for some primo action. So I've been invited out to go play by Shane to go test it out, test that news out. So I'm looking forward to that, and it is still tentative, but upon that round of golf, I'll be pulling the trigger.
That's what I want to hear. I'm telling you, and that's why I did want to speak with Bo, and because I know the superintendent Ken Buckler, really, really good guy, man. He's really kind of dug in, and he's really not one of these guys to try to put a Band-Aid on some things. He's gone in there and he's dug some stuff out. And again, if, like you stated, that was last year. He came in at March. He came in right at the end of March during COVID. That's when I met him. I met him at a because all the courses were closed in San Antonio. We met at a round in Pleasanton, right, at one of the courses that wasn't closed. Right. And man, he's had him and Bo, and they've had to deal with a lot of stuff from a lot of people, going through, especially on Bo's end, having to gone through different management groups and different owners. And Ken too, having to hear a lot of this stuff. And I hate having to defend it, but this is a course I play all the time. And I'm like, I grew up playing this course when it first opened up. And it was in bad shape like 2 or 3 years ago. It was in bad shape last year. But I say these past 7 months, Ken is really like he's really turned things around, because before, like you stated with the zoysia grass from tee to green, the zoysia on the green doesn't hold so well. It doesn't hold the ball so well when you're trying to get it to check up, and you're like, nah, things don't check up out here. But yeah. I'm going to tell you, Ken's really got that place rolling. And I think I'm waiting for, I'm sure a lot of courses are waiting for this whole dormant season and this whole, this whole cold here in South Texas. Not like Iowa's cold, but for it to be done. And so we can start seeing some green around the courses.
Yeah, I'm excited. These rains over this week, I'm sure, are going to only help. We definitely need some water. So, I'm glad to see that, Odie, and I'm glad to hear it from Andy too. So I'm definitely excited to get out there. I grew up, like I was saying, at my dad's course, and my dad was the type of guy, he wasn't the green superintendent, he was a head professional, but at the end of the day, you would see my dad out there going to the ninth green or the fifth green, which are close to the clubhouse, and he'd be fixing ball marks on the greens. That's just, there's another level of these groups taking possession of the courses that they're given the opportunity to manage and lead, that you can have a great course without a whole lot of effort, obviously a ton of money, but those little things make all the difference. So, and it sounds like they're heading in that direction out there too. I've lost you, Andy. I can't.
Awesome. Thank you, Kerry. No, Ken has done a great job, and he's a Kentucky guy. So he's a Kentucky guy. He's played at some great courses there. He's played at Ball of Straw in Louisville, and he's showed me some
course looks like then.
I'm not going to say it's anything like that, but you can tell. He started from the bottom up. And he understands that in order to get the course right, that you got to kind of tear things apart and rebuild it back, but from the bottom up. And he's done a great thing with the bunkers, because before, I know playing with some of my boys out there that I normally play with, my four bros out there, is that we'd always say, in the sand, you can pull out of the sand. Yay, you can hit, pull it out. It's, we don't hit from the bunkers here. We don't hit from the bunkers here. And that was before Ken got there. And I'd say that right now that the step meters on the website, Bo has it at 10.3, but I'm telling you, it's closer to a 12. It's running really fast, running true, but the greens are in really great shape. But again, and I'm just ready for some damn grass to be growing in these freaking courses. I'm not that type of hitter, Kerry. I'm not that type of hitter.
Yeah, you need it to check up and stop, or stop on a dime, right?
Well, I need something. I need some rough to at least get my ball to stop. I take chunks out.
Yeah.
I take chunks out, and right now with the grass being so thin, I can't. Maybe that's what's holding me back.
At the beginning of the year, it makes me scared to, so little to hit the ball with.
Now, Kerry, I'm always so curious, especially with you starting at Austin and then having Dallas, and now going into Houston. How are you able to make it to several of these events throughout in these different cities? Because I know you do, and I know you try to make sure you're showing attention and showing love to each of these cities that are bearing, your name, your league name.
It's very important to me. I want to get to know those guys, as well as I can. I want it to be a personal thing for everybody. And, it goes back to that original stuff. So it does become harder and harder, more difficult, and the people that, I'm talking to for league management, it's important that they kind of carry some of my ideals in that regards, just being a good dude. I certainly don't want anybody to get a bad feeling about my interactions with them or anything. There's times when I'm more in a hurry, of course, I'm trying to, but I'll always try to take the time for people. Now, as far as the trips, you got to sell that to Miss Commish, right? So if you package that well enough, then it's a week away.
Hey, so it's not so much business, it's business and pleasure, right?
Absolutely. So when I go to those places, I'm going to golf, and then I'm coming back, and actually she'll ride around with me. She went up to Dallas with me and rode around both times, and that was a blast. And And then we left right away and went and had a good time on the town. So we'll do that again. We'll try to make it to all three of the other cities twice each this year. So that's kind of the initial plan, and have a whole lot of fun doing it as a couple.
Well, you know what, I've been going back and I've been editing a lot of my because I've been doing a lot more video podcast or vlogs. I don't know what the kids say nowadays, but I just feel like, a lot more people are getting to know you and getting to put a face to the voice. And with you and along with my several other guests that I've had previously, and hearing and re-listening to these podcasts and listening to these people speak, the big thing I get to hear is it's not where you're at, it's who you're with. Mm-hmm. And do you have a good memory, or if anything, maybe your best memory that you've had so far from running this league?
Goodness.
Or one that stands out the most?
Honestly, I'm sure as soon as we stop talking here, I'm going to think, oh my gosh, I can't believe I forgot that. But there's so many times, and that's just because there's so many times, and maybe that sounds like a cop-out, but the times that guys will come up and say, what you said earlier on tonight, Andy, about what this league has meant to me, or that I wasn't playing golf at all, your league got me out during the week. It's taken a lot of stress off me, or to the ones where, hey, I've made some $1 million business deals, with guys that I've met, in the group. That's the type of thing that sticks in my mind the most. There's the shots or the rounds that I've had, but those are harder to remember than the guys that I played with. And I make an effort to play with as many of the guys each year as possible. There's only a few guys that I'll play with more than once. Sure. I mean, there's some guys that I'm naturally closer to, personality wise. But I like to stretch myself that way, and I like to make it around and get to know all the faces, all the personalities, and there's some wild personalities in our world, and I love it. I love it, and it challenges me to be a better person, a better human being, and I hope that I can rub off and help others be the same. I really think that golf's a way to help kind of heal communities. Obviously, we're in the last calendar year has been an extremely difficult one from that standpoint. And, so whatever I can do, just my little part in the golf world of doing that and being a good person, and then there you go.
Well, one of my buddies said, Jason Miranda, I had never heard of this league. Sounds interesting. Thanks for bringing this to us, Andy.
Absolutely. Thank you, Andy.
No, thank you, Kerry. I appreciate your time so much this evening. And again, it was just that little ad that you had in Facebook. And you've really, I've met a lot of awesome people. I had another guest. I've had several guests from your league. I've had Robert on there. I've had James Wilson on. And it's awesome, man. You know what? This game is awesome, and you make it super easy. You do. You make it super easy. Your league does through all your hard work and the work on Golf Genius. That you make it easy for us just to go, have our name on the cart, get in there, put the little code in our phone and our app, and just keep score on our phone throughout the course. And you do a lot of work to make it easy for guys like us. And you do, it only being a 9-hole event. Some guys are like, oh, if I'm going to pay for golf, I want to play 18. I said, you know what? Well, some guys like us who, hey, we get off of work at 4:30, or even on a Tuesday, we might leave a little early to get out there on the range and to get on the putting green and to make it to your league. But it's so worth it, man. And I really want more people, because I think since we met, since we've talked, I think my podcast has grown and I'm reaching a lot more of the masses out there, and I'm super thankful. And I want to continue to do that. And I want to continue to shed gems like your league. And I want people to know more about Kerry.
Well, you're doing a great job, Andy, and I know you have lots of undertakings. You're extremely energetic, and you keep it all together with your family. I loved right before we were meeting. Right before we were meeting here, everybody, one of his daughters came in and said goodnight, and it was beautiful, and that means a lot. And so I think I do want to address, the 9-hole thing is a stigma. I kind of brought that. I feel like I kind of brought that. It's not like it's new, but in Iowa, we tend to have 6 to maybe 8 months to play golf. 9-hole courses are a dime a dozen up there, and you have one basically every 7 miles in every little country town. And so you played 9 on weeknights. Is it just, you didn't have to play 18. And I get that idea that it's not a round of golf unless it's 18. So this year we're going to bring 5 18-hole weekend rounds for every city. And that's in addition to the 2-man leagues. So there's going to be a bunch of different tracks that you can take to participate in the golf fellowship. If weeknight 9s don't make sense to you, you can still be in the points race as a weekender 18. You could just take the 2-man route and you could play all the 2-man events, and you could still be there at the end of the season. So we're just expanding that way. And so by doing that, we basically doubled our event load. We went from about 40 events last year to 89 this year we have planned out. So
damn, that's awesome, Kerry, though. But you know what? You really, it seems like you really want to make it easier for people to have some choices, and for them to just come on out and experience the league. And you're right, it is a big stigma. It is a big stigma, that 9-hole league. But I'm going to tell you, it's one of the things that I always look forward to the most. I love Tuesday nights, every other Tuesday nights, and right. The camaraderie, the guys playing sundown golf. It's freaking awesome, guys. If you don't think you have time, come on out. Try the golf fellowship. You meet some good guys, and meet some guys like me, not so good guys. And
that's not. You're good in all the ways that matter, Andy.
Oh, hey, I'm going to say that. I'm good in all the ways that matter. I'm going to use that one, Kerry. But guys, hey, come on, check it out. Kerry's a good dude. There's a lot of great guys out in the league. He has a lot of great formats, a lot of great different types of games, types of cities, types of 2-man formats, single man. And Kerry, you do such a great job. I appreciate what you do and what your league brings for guys like me, and here in San Antonio, and now Austin, Dallas, and Houston. Thanks so much, man. I appreciate you being on the show tonight.
Thanks for having me again, Andy. And I look forward to getting back with you in 3 years on this and seeing what's happened.
Oh, I'm scared. I'm scared for you. I'm scared, but it's good type of scared. All right.
That's right.
If you wouldn't mind just staying on, Kerry, just for a little bit, I appreciate it. Hey, thanks so much, folks, for joining us tonight. I really want to thank my sponsor. I want to thank Ronni Guevara, and thanks so much, Ronni. Thanks very much for allowing me to put your name out there. Make sure for all your real estate needs, make sure you hit Ronni up. All right. Make sure she'll take care of you. She will take care of you, and she will do you right, and she will help you find that home of your dreams.